Hey guys, TheRuneKin here, and I have a new mic. You may have probably already noticed that. We took forever to set this up and just completely had no reason to. So we gave up on the end.
But we need a 16.9 recording resolution. But
Yes,
no
we
one's
do.
going to watch the video.
It's fine.
If anyone is watching this, they are probably going to be listening to it while playing RuneScape.
Yes.
Which we just
please.
barely realized. Because we're geniuses.
We think before we act.
Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah, but now my audio quality will probably be much better from now on. Instead of using the inbuilt mic, which you may have noticed is probably terrible. And there's not really that much going for this week or month, not week.
Yeah, we've got only 2 real updates. One of them is probably going to be kind of minor, and the other one's a quest. So.
And the quest was out on the day right after the
Yeah, we've already got the
BTS
quest, which I have not done, but you have done. So
yes,
starting off with that, why don't you tell us what the quest was like?
Since I've already done the quest, I can actually just tell you it without actually reading all this stuff. I don't even want to read that. It's too much. After what we went through, trying to set this up, I'm not reading that huge paragraph, something I already know. Basically, you go to this house, the Carnelian house, and Philip is like the little boy of the Carnelian's main owner guy. I don't know, the dad of the family. And he's like, I want my son to be an adventurer. So you set up a quest for him. You go around in this dungeon. You build all these little things with the construction skill. Like you get to build a specific thing here or there. With like paint, you'll throw paint on the wall and it'll be like, oh yeah, that's blood. And you take him through the quest until you get to the end, and he saves this girl from some dragons and stuff. And I won't spoil the ending. Even though it's
in the end,
not...
he saves this girl from some dragons and stuff, but I won't spoil the ending.
Hey, there's a twist ending. That's all I'll say.
He figures out the quest was a hoax? What? How?
No, throughout the whole
thing. My red paint was so authentic.
This quest is fake. This quest is fake. It's glitched. QA it, man. What are you doing? I'm serious though. He actually says that throughout the whole quest. He's sitting there saying like, this quest is glitched. It's not working properly.
It sounds pretty funny.
You should QA it some more. But all in all, it had a pretty cool reward where you can like dig a little chest in it and make your own clue scroll pretty much, and you can bury some coal or black med helms and make people do a 3-hour clue for that. Which I'm sure anybody who's done a clue scroll knows what I'm talking about. And yeah, that's pretty much that quest. You also get about 300k in rewards, like cash and items and stuff that you can sell in the GE. But that's pretty much about it.
Right. I think you also said there were some things that you didn't like about the quest. Is there, like, one particular, was that? I mean, you said some of the voices were kind of annoying.
Oh my goodness. There's the girl that he saves, her voice acting, which by the way it is a completely voice acting quest. That girl's voice just annoyed me so much. I couldn't stand it at all. But okay, moving on from that topic.
We may or may not have some interesting ideas for the clue scroll casket.
Yeah, we might. With the second update that they plan to come out, which this is recorded on Monday, so it might be out by the time this is actually edited and sent out.
Well, it's on you. If it was on me, it'd be done by tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm on vacation. I have all the stuff to do too, so.
It's true.
A social slayer. Duo slayer tasks.
I'm sure we've all heard about this. It says there are going to be some rewards that I'm assuming you can only get if you do Duo Slayer. It says players who complete tasks together will earn points to spend in their local Slayer Master's shop, with awesome rewards to buy, such as shared potion effects and awesome new pets.
We'll get on that in a second. I'm going to read through the whole paragraph in the moment.
Hold on. We already know there's going to be Aquanite pets. I'm hoping for a Strike Worm pet, because that would be pretty cool.
Alright. It's fair to say that oh my god, I screwed that up. It's fair to say that some of the best friends I have made in RuneScape were found deep underground or high up in desolate towers while I was training my Slayer skill. Okay. Friends who slay together stay together, and nobody slays together.
No, man.
But it's annoying.
I'm more social when I slay than anywhere else in RuneScape.
Yeah, except for when you get that.
Except maybe
like,
skilling, but sometimes I AFK, so people just get angry because I don't respond to them. They're like, bot.
Yeah.
You know, anyone who doesn't respond is a bot.
Exactly. And that's how it's always been, right?
Yeah.
But it's annoying when people appear and camp out the very spot you earmarked.
I don't know what that word is.
For your next few hundred Slayers. I guess that means you dominated that area or something.
Earmarked.
What if you could be social and also complete your Slayer task? Buddying up with another player to make kills together. I guess. Is
new kills item, guys. Crafting. Level it up.
While in this upcoming, I'm screwing up every single word now.
Remember, no editing. It's gotta be 16 by 9.
We're not recording at 16 by 9. Well, in this upcoming update, you can. Players can now power up in Slayer duos, and they can, if they're on the same task, or if they start a new task together as a duo Slayer task only, you can have any amount of kills that you make will count towards each other's kill counts. So if you get 400, you can do 200, the other guy will do 200, and you'll both finish the task at the same time, making it quicker to get through those assignments you hate, and more fun going through the ones you like. And players who complete tasks will earn points and spend on the local shop, as Tyler just mentioned before.
Yep. And shared potion effects could be cool. Initially, I thought that it would only be on Slayer tasks, like duo Slayer tasks. But what if it is like everywhere in RuneScape, and you can share potions with lower level players at like bandos? You can share overloads with people who aren't technically supposed to be able to use them.
I don't think that's how it's gonna work, but it would be cool if it did.
I don't either, but that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sort of. Now the first update that I am somewhat excited for, but it isn't really an update. The next update is the 10-year veteran cape, which I'm kind of looking forward to. It's not really like an actual update, it's just one item being added into the game. And they haven't said anything about how it's going to look yet, but it's going to be X instead of V like the 5-year was.
Well, will you be able to wear the cape?
It actually does say it's going to be deep red.
Yeah. So, are you actually going to have that cape or not? Because I don't think I get it.
I'm not sure. I don't think I will. I think I made my account in 04.
I believe mine was in 04 as well.
But
so I don't
even
think
if it's cosmetic, new capes always excite me.
I guess we'll have more of those capes.
Yeah.
Those ones will maybe actually mean something.
The 5-year veteran cape actually has stats as well, so it might not just be cosmetic.
Mm-hmm.
The 5-year is better than a Legends cape.
Is it? I thought it was like equal.
Maybe it's equal. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe the 10-year will be like a Bladestorm drape mixed with an Obby cape or something. That would be pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be like let's think about what's a really old cape people used to use.
Obsidian
cape. It'd be like an Obby fire cape.
I don't think they'll devalue the fire cape.
It'd be like a fire cape but with like obsidian marks on it. That'd be cool.
Mm.
And then the obsidian mark should be like an X. Represent like the really old fire cape that we always had back then. And they're not telling us anything about the emote.
No.
As of yet.
Chances are we're just going to be standing on an X.
Probably. But you never know. They go crazy with some of the emotes when it comes to the big capes.
Yeah, it's true.
The max cape and the giant dragon comp cape, if you know what I mean.
Still think the max cape has a better remote.
It does. It does.
Then the next release is the Gielinor Games pre-release event. Next topic
Woo.
is the Gielinor Games full release. And that's all for the behind the scenes.
No.
Fine.
The pre-release
You
is
know
going
no
to be...
one cares about the Gielinor Games.
Hey, I think it'll be fun.
I think it might be fun, but if there's no actual rewards or all the cosmetic rewards are like ugly, then I'm not doing it.
We get XP.
Oh. Goody XP?
Yeah, XP is... I don't know.
This is going to be free and members as well, which is interesting.
Yeah, but frees only get like the first cheese wheel game or something like that. Members get like agility stuff and everything too. Well, the pre-games is going to be like you help build up some stadiums and you help set up the whole thing like Cryptic Clue kind of, but it's all at once and it's all in-game. And it's just a pre-game, is basically what it says. And then when the full release of the game comes out, you're not allowed to do that anymore. Everything's already built. And you're going to just be able to play the games like cheese wheel rolling and stuff like that. It's going to be pretty much the Olympics in RuneScape, where there's going to be skilling competitions and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I'd say there's going to be a lot of like community events going on then as well.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably going to be a lot of community events with Jagex endorsing some of them too.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, like the beta events and stuff, and like the clan cups and whatnot. Which I was supposed to take part in, but I just suddenly dropped off the face of Gielinor for like a week.
Yeah, I haven't been able to help with the clan cups at all. I think I was in.
I think they're over now. I meant to partake in the Skilling Cup and the Steel and Creation Cup, but I just wasn't online.
I think I was in the Steel and Creation, but I can't remember anything else.
Yep.
If I were even in any of the cups beyond that. And there's not much more past those few things.
Actually, the most exciting thing is past those things, which isn't saying a lot, trust me. But we have the combat beta events, which obviously is going to run the whole month. We're going to have various events, probably mostly on weekends. I think the calendar is actually up, but I haven't looked at it. And then we have and so much more, which I think is the most exciting part. And again, this isn't really saying much.
Hey, let's not skip parties and celebrations.
Yeah, it's just part of the thing, I think.
As no doubt you've noticed on the front page, our countdown to 200 million accounts will soon reach its target, and we'll have a celebration planned for everyone who is around when the moment happens. I won't spoil the surprise, but I'll have all sorts of things planned for the big day and the days following, which is probably like double drops and stuff will happen.
Yeah.
You'll have heard that the phrase party animal. Party animal.
How about a party demon? And then we have a picture of a demon that we haven't seen in game yet.
And he's wearing a giant necklace that says 2 million on it.
Yeah.
Or 200 million.
Imagine this is just Krill Susseroth.
Wearing a 200 million necklace.
In like golden gear and with a giant 200 million necklace.
He drops it and it's a 200 million worth necklace.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Suffice to say there will be rewards. I just hope there are some pretty cool cosmetic rewards. And I don't. There might be some EXP rewards as well, given
I
their
want that necklace.
late rewards. I don't.
I
I've just
want.
noticed too, like on his shoulder, it says it's got the 2000 as
Oh,
well.
oh yeah, I didn't even see
That
that.
looks pretty cool actually. I kind of like the design on his armor. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's like that is pretty interesting. I didn't even
Uh,
notice it
and
until you look
then
closely.
so much more section. It says something about basically it's saying that for those of you interested in swaggering about in the latest and greatest fashions,
Me.
we have a really special update planned for July. Sometimes it's not all about the EXP, it's about looking good while earning it. More to follow in the next few weeks. We haven't heard anything yet, but I guess we'll hear it soon.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm guessing it's just going to be like graphical update batch 2 for armors and
Yep.
weapons
And
and
then
stuff.
don't forget that right under that it says
Oh yeah, and it's
there'll be more updates on the Squill Fortune.
well, no, specifically what it says is like talking of cosmetic makeovers, Yelps and a Squeal Fortune are also getting updates in July, including a brand new wheel aimed just at free to play. They wouldn't say that as an update that they want to get out there if it was going to be a membership scam aimed at free to play. The fact that they're trying to aim something through the Squeal Fortune at free to play, like legitimately, I think that they're trying to sneak in an update that's going to like soften the blow on free to plays temporarily from the Squeal Fortune, because we know Jagex isn't there. It's not like 100% Jagex that has a Squeal Fortune in place. In fact, it's probably like 5 to 10% Jagex and like
Yep.
90 to 95% the investors. In fact,
Yeah, indeed.
Mod Wraith has come out. He publicly said on the forums that he is strongly against microtransactions, and as long as he works at Jagex, he will veto any attempts to sell combat abilities or combat related stuff on the Squeal
Hello?
Fortune.
Oh, we've kind of DC'd right when you said he said, and
That's okay because it'll still be in my recording.
yeah, okay. Well, we DC'd there for a second. We do use a certain technique of recording audio, so you'll hear him as if everything was normal, but I did not hear anything he said.
Yeah.
So it might sound a little bit weird there when.
Yeah. Basically, I don't think we should think of this as like they're trying to aim another like membership scam at free to play. It's probably going to be something that's going to be beneficial for free to play rather than not.
Yeah, when I read that, I didn't see it as like, oh, another membership scam. I saw it as, oh no, now they're scamming the members out of stuff now because they're giving all the free to play stuff.
Well, I mean, they're not going to give free to play anything that's not accessible from the members game, but they're probably, I guess they'll change the squeal temporarily.
I know, but it's gonna be like more lobsters and stuff. Woo.
No, I think they'll do something that's actually like useful. Maybe they'll give them like cosmetic gear or something because that would be kind of cool. Currently, I
I
think
think all
most
the
of the cosmetic
cosmetic
stuff
is
is members only. All the
a
stuff on the
lot of it
squeal
is
is members
free.
only, the cosmetic stuff.
I believe Dragon Ceremonial is free.
I don't think so.
I believe my boots are. I I think so. Now, before we end off on this, we're gonna look at the homepage and we're gonna talk about the combat beta events just a little bit, and
We
maybe a
should
little
talk
bit of the
about our
combat beta.
impressions on the combat beta as well, because we haven't done that yet. At least not since you were able to play it.
Yeah. And now that that's over, I'm not actually able to play on it, so I actually have all my impressions in mind now.
Yeah.
The combat beta, I liked it, but the hotbar I didn't really like too much. Like how it was set up and the amount of abilities you have, it's just not really diverse in a way, if you know what I mean. Like, if you were to take all the abilities you were able to use, every ability would fit on the hotbar.
Yeah, no, I definitely think
Cause
there aren't enough abilities in game. And
yeah,
like they need to have one of the biggest issues they said that, for example, I think the way he put it was the DPS of a two-handed weapon will be 1.5, and if the DPS of the two-handed weapon is 1.5, dual wielding is also 1.5, and sword and shield will be 1. But as it
Right.
stands, if the DPS of a two-handed weapon is 1.5, sword and shield is also 1.5, and dual wielding is like 3x.
Hmm.
Currently, you can deal, like, putting it this way, if you use Unload or Frenzy, you're dealing 3 or 4 times the DPS of every ultimate that you have access to, like, with a two-handed crossbow or sword.
I know, but like because there's certain abilities, and there's not that many abilities to begin with. There's some that are only locked off if you have uh, a two-handed or a dual wield or a shield on or whatever.
Right.
So once you have your full setup, you're already geared. Like you have your shield, you have your sword, or whatever you're going to use. All the abilities that you're able to use, you can fit every single one on the hotbar already. And just like any useful ones or any non-useful ones are already left out, and you'll never want to use them anyway. So it's just like, even though they're trying to make it more diverse at the end of the game and like higher levels, everybody's going to have the same spells and everything still. It's going to be quite the same in the end.
And, like, right now, I think some of my major issues, obviously, like I said, they said that two hands and dual swords should deal the same DPS. I think that should definitely be true. Like, sword and shield should deal less, but it's for tanking, so there's that.
Hmm.
But I definitely think that the dual swords and two hands should deal the same DPS. But currently, for example, if you use Frenzy, which is available with the dual wielding only, you can hit 3 or 4 5,000s on most monsters, on like boss
Hmm.
monsters. But
Yeah.
if you use the two-handed ultimates, the most you're getting is 1 5k. Likewise with range, it's very similar.
Yeah, but if you use ranged and you have the dual wielded crossbows, you can do the 5Ks and stuff. Like
Yeah, but if you have a
Frenzy.
two-hand crossbow, you're still only getting 1 5k at best.
I don't think that Magic actually has a version of that.
It doesn't. Magic has Metamorphosis, which I think is really bad for PVM, but could be very good in PvP. And it has what is it? Omni Power, which hits 5k once. I think that it should have something for using a wand and a book that hits multiple 5ks, because right now it doesn't deal nearly the same DPS as range or melee.
Hmm.
And
Like,
Magic seems to be lacking skills, like, in general. I can't find as many skills that I really enjoy on Magic as I can with the others.
hmm.
Especially like when you're KCing at God Wars, you don't want to use AoE abilities or everything in the room's going to get on you. And Magic has, like, without the
All
AoE
AoE.
abilities, they just don't have enough abilities to be constantly activating an ability whenever you can. So,
Hmm.
like, KC takes a little bit of time unless you want to aggro everything in the room.
And plus, it takes the same amount of time to get 10 KC as it does for 40 in the real game.
It's very similar, assuming you're not doing like Zamrock, because you can one hit the imps still.
Yeah. But then
But
again,
I
you
think
make them
they
all go
they
extinct.
should, I don't, like, maybe 20 KC in live when it goes live. I don't know. I'm sure they'll figure something out. Maybe increase kill speeds. What I think they
Mm.
should do for the two-hand DPS is increase the damage cap for two-handed abilities, just so that, like, you can hit the cap right now is the same for a two-handed ability. Like, Overpower is available with two hands. I don't know if there's one that's specifically yes, Meteor Strike. It hits
Hmm.
5k, I think, maybe a little bit more. I think it can deal 30% of the opponent's hit points as opposed to
It's
25 or something.
40% and they have to have 50%. I remember that.
Yeah, okay. So, first of all, it's capped on most bosses. So, get rid of they have to have 50% life points. It doesn't make sense. And second of all, if the damage cap on a boss for Frenzy is 5k, it should be at least 2 or 3 times higher than that. So you should be able to hit 10 to 15k with Meteor Strike, because in the end, at the end of the day, it's the same damage as if you used Frenzy once.
Yes, it is. But they do have to put into consideration that PvP is there, but in PvP it does not hit 5Ks.
Yeah, but in PvP it won't hit 5k because it hits 40% of your opponent's life points. Like, they can decrease that if they need to, but it's...
They need to really rework the abilities. Like, for me, I believe that it should be for each different style, they should have the equal abilities of it. Like, I was looking at attack, ranged, and strength abilities, and attack abilities had, like, you know, the stun effects, how there's always the stun ability, and then you can use like the ability that says if they're stunned you hit more.
Yeah, if they're stunned or immune to stuns.
Yep. There's, like, if you use the stun ability, attack has a better stun ability than strength, and range has a better one than both of them. But they all do the same thing, except for range can bind for longer, and attack does more damage.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit weird how it was like that. It wasn't just equals, but the different styles.
It really should be equal.
And magic is just on its own. It has nothing to do with the rest of them.
No. I don't know. I really don't like most of the magic abilities. They seem really underpowered compared to the others. And magic as a whole is really underpowered in the beta still. Like, take for example, some of the... I know for a fact that most of the stuff in the Bandos section of God Wars is weak to earth spells. You kill them way faster with any melee setup than you do with earth spells. And also, maybe the biggest complaint that I have, like, besides Prayer Drain, it's absolutely terrible, but they're starting to fix that now, so I'm going to get over it. And they fixed Auto Retaliate, which was the biggest... I'm not even going to go there. Especially at Saradomin, like, I tried Saradomin twice to record, and I scrapped the recording both times because it was just me getting really angry at the, like, auto retaliate mechanics. Like, every time you would use Asphyxiate, it would switch you to the Growler and cancel the ability.
I really don't like that. Like, if you were to use an ultimate or something and someone runs away and your character chases them, your character runs away and breaks the ultimate.
Yeah, well, the channel abilities. But a lot of, like, the ones that you could actually run from are meant to be dodgeable anyway. Like, Unload is dodgeable, I think.
It's any ability, though. If you move...
No, it's only channel
even if it's
abilities.
From the... No, like, if you move during any ability, it'll cancel it if you didn't cast it yet.
Oh,
even if it drained your bar, right? So I'm sitting there ranging from far away or something, and I use, like, what is that? Dead Shot, I believe. It's the
Dead Shot.
One-handed ability, right? I try to use Dead Shot, and the guy runs like 1 square away, and my character cancels it after it drains out, and I didn't even attempt to shoot it.
Yeah, that needs to be fixed, I think.
I really didn't like that. How I would always...
I can't even remember what I was talking about at first. But I know... Oh, Prayer Drain. And then I went on to Auto Retaliate. Currently, the thing that is the most annoying to me
is how magic's underpowered.
Totally just lost my train of thought there. Give me a second.
You were saying magic's underpowered.
Yeah, but besides that... I don't remember what I was going to talk about.
Auto Retaliate fix? Saradomin?
No, because all that's like... They're starting to work on all that. Well, not magic. I really think magic needs a huge buff because it's just terrible compared to the other two.
Yeah,
like, when we did Zamorak, you noticed, like, I was dealing no DPS. Like, granted, I was tanking, but, like, nothing.
Yeah, he's weak to fire spells. Were you using fire spells?
Yeah, I was using fire spells. Oh, that reminds me. It reminds me because your abilities use whatever, like, damage type that your active spell's using. Which also
Yeah.
reminds me that Storm of Arma is terrible now. Use Fire Surge, it's the best spell. Um, None of your... The only thing that affects your ability damage is your weapon damage. Like, currently, prayers and potions, the boosts don't affect your abilities, even though they should. So if you're at Bandos, personally, I'm always using a melee ability when I'm meleeing, and I try to always be using an ability, like use as few like auto retaliate attacks as possible. But
See-through
what
attacks.
that means is that none of my gear beside gear, potions, or prayers outside of like soul split, I guess, for prayers and your weapon for gear is affecting the kill in any way. Because none of it has impact on your abilities. You can still hit 5Ks, fine. You can still hit 1.3 to 1.5K with most of your abilities. It's not impacted right now, and it really should be.
Yeah, I know. I can say this off of personal experiences that because I was actually able to drink overloads in the beta because they removed the drinking cap, or not the cap, the requirement to drink overloads and stuff. And I drank an overload and I used frenzy and I hit 5Ks rapidly. But then when my overload ran out and I used it again, I still hit 5Ks rapidly, like as if I still had the overload. So overloads and prayers and all that don't actually affect any abilities.
Granted, this is an ability that deals set damage, but for all your other abilities, it's the same thing. They
Even at
deal a
that,
percentage of your weapon damage, and boosts don't affect it.
all abilities always hit the same thing depending if you're attacking the same boss.
They have,
Even if you have
they do
prayers
have
and
a
potions.
specific range. Like, I'm not sure exactly what it means when it says 300% or whatever of your weapon damage. I don't know if that's like how much you would have hit, or like 300% of like an average hit or something. But I do know that it seems like it's only affected by weapon damage. Your outside boosts don't affect it at all.
Exactly. It's
It is very early in beta, so I think they're going, like, by the time this is released, I'm sure it's going to be a great combat system, and it's going to be really good for RuneScape as a game. But right now, I feel
it
like the
needs a
live
lot of
combat
work.
system is better.
It needs
Every
a
time
lot
I
of
play
work.
on the beta, it's boring to me. I'd rather just sit and click soul split flicking over and over again on a Slayer task. I'd rather fight black demons in live game than anything on the beta right now.
Yeah, it can get pretty bad, and I I really don't see
The
why
thing that
Magic doesn't
angers me the
have.
most right now, so I think it was Mod Mark who was doing the Og blogs, and he kept saying how you're not playing RuneScape, you're playing the interface. I'd rather use my mouse to play the interface than to use the number keys on my keyboard to play the interface. Still, all you're doing is using your abilities. You're not playing the game still. Well, I mean, you are playing the game. Games are interfaces. It's just how it is. Unless
Yeah,
it's virtual reality, which doesn't even exist yet, at least in like a viable game point. I'd rather play the interface with my mouse and the function keys to switch interfaces quicker than press buttons on my keyboard and play my keyboard. It just
also I don't like that the fact, like,
feels
continuing on
more
your
involving in the live game where you're clicking all the time and using the function keys than it does in the beta where you're just spamming numbers on your keyboard.
yes, but continuing where you were just talking about there. For me, I seem like I feel the same way a little bit, but I just don't like that you can only go from one to, what is it, equals? Like, to have prayers, potions, item switches, like all of that, you can't fit all of that plus abilities. And there's no easy way to switch between hotbars, like, because you have the 5 different hotbars you can have.
Actually, you can hold shift and press one of the numbers.
Yeah, but then you're also trying to use your abilities at the same time.
But
You have to switch between your inventory.
Somewhat unresponsive as of right now.
And nothing responds properly. If you hold
That's
down
true.
a key,
When we were at Zamrock the other day, I was pressing like an ability would not be on cooldown. I would not be on global cooldown. I could spam it with the key. I could spam it with the mouse. I could open up the menu and spam it there. It would not activate. And that's another reason why I was dealing such low DPS, although it just started happening later in the trip.
And I also realized that if you hold down an ability and it says that this ability's not ready yet or you can't cast that, it will actually delay your character.
Really?
Because it takes one game tick to try the ability. Even if it fails, it still takes that whole game tick. And if you're holding it down, it keeps trying and trying and trying until it just stacks up all the ability tries. And it keeps going for each game tick. And it tries all of them until it's all gone before you can do anything.
Wow.
It's miserable. I don't know what they're thinking with this.
No. I definitely understand that it's really early beta, but I think that if they don't get everything straight by the time this goes live, they're going to have some trouble.
They're going to have a lot of trouble. You can't even walk if you do that either. Like nothing works because it keeps taking the game ticks away from you. Yeah. Your character can't even auto retaliate or nothing, like, because it's taking the game ticks, and your character needs game ticks to function at all.
That might be why my abilities weren't responding, because when something's close to being off cooldown, I'll spam the button so it comes out quicker. But if what you're saying is true, then that's really bad.
They really need to fix that or do something with it.
Yeah.
Because that is coded really badly. I mean, in a hotkey, which this will be a hotkey MMO now.
Well, it was before with the function keys. And
yeah, but it wasn't the same as this kind of a hotkey. In this kind of a hotkey, people spam the keys.
Another thing that, like, I really don't like abilities in MMOs. The reason that I have not stuck to any MMO other than RuneScape is just because the combat was terrible, in my opinion. Like, WoW, I didn't like the combat. I played MapleStory for a little while. It was kind of fun, but I got bored of it really quick. And there was one I played a while ago that was called Legend of Ares, which was similar to the WoW combat system, and I dropped that really quick as well.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the combat system and the way that things worked. Like, it's not set up properly. It needs a lot of work before it's anywhere close to being a good version of this combat system.
Yeah. I think that the ability to have that combat system in a game like RuneScape is going to be a really good thing. But at the same time, it's just not what I prefer.
They need more abilities, for one, because there's not enough abilities. They need more places to put hotkeys, like a second active hotbar, so that you don't actually have to scroll up and down between the different ones and stuff like that, because that's still fighting the interface, which is what they don't want.
Well, you know, I don't know what they mean by they don't want players playing the interface. Every game is an interface, especially one where you don't move with WA. But what they mean is
they don't want you fighting the interface.
Well, no, it's not fighting it, it's playing it. Modmark said things like hybriding. It's not your skill at hybriding, it's your skill at navigating the interface at speed. But, like, it's... hybriding is, like, the biggest skill on RuneScape.
They need a level for it.
They do. They need a hybriding level.
I would fail at that. I'd be level 1.
I'd be level 10-ish, maybe. I've hybrided before, but I'm not good at it.
My form of hybriding is switching the weapon. I don't even switch magic styles. Like, I can't do that. I can't switch between the magic book and then switch to the inventory. It screws me up. Then my inventory is always a mess, and
no, I just bust through on luck. I don't know when to switch to what. I do vaguely, but really I just do whatever feels right at the time. And, like, every time I've hybrided with, there's one specific friend that I hybrid with occasionally. Every time we've hybrided, I just freeze them through dehides repeatedly and, like, run in for Rambo claw specs, and I just win.
Yeah,
If I don't get like hacks hits, he wins hands down.
I have a friend as well who likes to call me up and be like, "Hey, you want to come braid or whatever?" And I'll be like, "Sure, I'll come, but I won't be there for long because I know that every time that we braid, he's actually like a professional braider, right? So I go in there completely geared up with like I would have Ganodermic and everything on, and he would have like what is it, Mystic and stuff, and he would just dominate me, hitting like constant 400s. I'm just completely defenseless, having no clue what to do. And I'm just sitting there switching. My inventory is a complete mess. I'll end up with half melee gear, half magic gear, and casting magic spells and melee gear, and he's just sitting there laughing at me. And by the time that I'm finished, like 3 fights, and he's just dominated me in every single one. I've thrown something across the room and broken something already on the floor in like the fetal position. Just leave me alone. Yeah, it's really difficult to braid, and I can't do that at all. But it's still really, there should be more abilities, more places to put abilities and functions. And the reason I say that is because I don't ever use the combat tab, I think it's called, if you know what I mean, like the place where the special attack used to be located.
Yeah. The
I don't
attack
use that
styles or whatever.
because I have all of my abilities and it takes up the whole bar, but it's all the good abilities that you ever could need. And then I don't have my food or my potions on that, so I'm always on my inventory using them. So I'm never using the combat tab, so there's some room for error there. They could have more ability spots to put food and stuff.
Hmm. I think breeding in the combat beta, obviously, it's kind of broken now, I guess, but at the same time, it's almost a little easier because you don't have to click cast your spells. Like when you put a staff on,
Yes, I love that.
it'll
That
put you back
it's
on the
like the
last.
polypore
It'll
now.
put you on the last spell that you were auto casting, and then when you take it off, you'll automatically be meleeing.
Yes, I really like that. I noticed that because I was like switching between styles like before I would go to a boss, and I was like, hold on, I'm auto casting something, and then I would try to attack it, and I'm like, hold on, wasn't I auto casting? So I would switch to a staff that I had in my inventory because I was going to try the 3 different styles at a boss, and it would just automatically start casting because I had a wand or whatever on, and I was like, that's really neat. They should have put that in like 7 years ago, but
Yeah, I guess I just couldn't for whatever reason. I guess just coding limitations on the current system.
yep. But I'm really glad that was put in there. It's sort of like the polypore of every spell,
It is really good,
without the runic staffs, of course.
especially since the magic menu is a lot harder to navigate. Blah. It's a lot harder to navigate now,
Yeah, it is.
which I don't
I
like.
know
I
a
think
lot of
they should have
people.
2 different menus for that. I like the old magic
Yeah.
menu, and I really dislike the ability menus.
Mhm. Like I've personally had, I'd say a good 15, 20 people message me who are on my friends list. Just message me out of the blue and be like, I don't know how to teleport anymore in the beta. How do you get around? I'd have to like navigate them through all of the different stuff, and I don't see why they could just have the magic spells like for combat and just your regular magic, because you know how it is. It's like only
Do you remember
abilities.
how the quest tab and the achievement diary tabs used to be like the same tab, but you'd click a thing to go back and forth? I think they should have, like, I don't mind so much the ability tab as it is now because you don't have to navigate it very often, but they should have a little thing to click back and forth between the spellbook tab and like the ability book tab.
yes, actual spell book should be separate from the abilities, because with range you only have range abilities. You don't have attack with range in
Yeah.
there. You don't have like attack with melee, because that's all that magic really is. It's just attack with magic.
Hmm.
And it really should be a separated thing. Like, even just put the tasks back with the quest and then have like the little switchy thing, or cover the squeal tab.
Yeah.
Nobody needs
No,
it.
I definitely think it should be on the Magic Book tab and work the way that the Achievement Diary and Quest tabs used to work. Which I kind of liked it better like that, to be honest.
And then really replace that old achievement diary task or tab. Like, take the achievement diary as it is now and then put it in the quest tab again,
Yeah,
and then
and then we
replace
could
the
even get
tab
another
that it's
tab
in.
for just whatever.
And then we'll have an extra tab there, and we can separate the magic book from the
Yeah, or you could even
abilities.
do that. Like, and then you could still have
Hmm.
Magic Book on hotkey, and then you wouldn't need a hotkey probably to your other tab, your ability book tab.
Yes. So it would be like prayer book, and then magic book, and then abilities tab, where you have all your abilities, including magic. And teleports and stuff would all be in your magic book.
Also, give us a function 6 to open our stats tab, Jagex. Please. I want to be able to open my
Why?
stats tab on function 6.
Why would you open your stats tab?
Overloads.
But that's what the
And like other
combat
boosts. Yeah, now, but it
combat
doesn't
tabs
tell you
for.
your exact boost. So like if you're using extremes on Slayer, like I repot at 115 stats, like in live game, obviously, because they only boost to
Yep.
116. Like once my extreme drops to 115, if I'm on Slayer, I'll repot. I wouldn't be able to find that out from the combat information tab. I have to click the stats tab, even though usually I don't like to take my mouse off the soul split button or the quick
Yeah, I
play.
see what you mean though. It's like when you're in the combat tab, it should say like just have like a little timer hovering over your picture, because it is quite a big square where it is. Like, it's got the little plus thing there, and it's got a really big square. You could just have like a small little timer in the middle of it or something that
I just
has
want the hotkey to the
overload
stats tab.
time.
I don't want any of this convoluted melee tab stuff. I want a hotkey to the stats tab. It's just more convenient. You can go there, you can see your stats. Like if you're brewed down, which won't happen anymore after the combat rework, but if you're brewed down in the live game, you can just see it and you'll be like, okay, I need to restore if you're not sure how many times you brewed because you panicked or something. And
Hmm.
you can see your current boost on your extreme. I just think it'll be a lot better if we can just hotkey there.
Yeah.
Easier.
There's a lot of things with the beta that are good and bad.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that that's almost all of our opinion on that.
I think that's pretty
Would you
much all
say?
I have to say, at least right now. Obviously, after every
Yep.
patch update, if it's any significant changes, I'll probably do a video.
Mhm. All right, now we're gonna hop to the home page. Okay, that's not the home page. That is the login screen.
Oops.
I'm not logged in, so don't worry. I don't even have anything put in. It's just the client loaded for some reason.
I think I closed mine by accident. I'm probably gonna
But
go to
anyway, we're
sleep
just
after this
gonna.
anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, of course. So will I. All right. So here on the home page, it has some information on the featured events and essential info, which is completely useless. There's a behind the scenes video on the Social Slayer and the Gillinor games, which will be a link in the description along with the homepage and all that.
If you remember.
I will remember.
Did you remember last time? Yes.
I mean, there's nothing on the homepage.
There's nothing at all on the homepage. We've got a couple things on the homepage, but none of it's
Nothing.
really an update.
Yeah.
If you're interested in any like RuneScape social things, I guess you can check it out, but really none of it's a game update. So there's nothing that I'm really interested in talking about there.
And I guess you can just give us an outro.
Alright, so that's all for this. I guess we can call it a podcast. It's 52 minutes long. Probably a little shorter after editing. That's all for this one, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya. Okay, guys, now you may have noticed if you are watching the video on this that near the end it started to cut out, like the video clip actually cut out and turned to black for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why that happened, but I will look into it and make sure that it doesn't happen again if possible. And that's it for this podcast, and I will see you next time with another video.